Recently, I went traveling. This is the itinerary of my trip in the Netherlands. It started out as a reunion with friends in a mosaic shop, and then I built a holiday trip around that. The first stop was Aalsmeer. This is where the reunion with the friends took place in a wonderful mosaic shop. The next destination was Nijmegen. This is where I would spend the evening and the next day. What a wonderful city! The next stop was Doetinchem for a lovely family visit. In the next city I would spend the most of my time, it is Hengelo. After Hengelo, there was one more city to visit, Rotterdam. Another fun family visit and a great way to end this amazing trip. Now let's go and break it down city by city. On the first day, I took the train to get from Paris to Schiphol. There, one of the friends picked me up and we had a fun time driving to the shop. What a joy to see everyone again. They have a lot of choice and everybody bought something. This is what I bought. I am very happy with everything I bought, but with all the plans I made, I will need to go back or to order more. It was wonderful to meet up with my friends in such a lovely place. What a fantastic day! After a meeting, one of the friends and me went to Nijmegen, the second city of my trip. The next day started out as a glorious day. A beautiful sunrise over a body of water that is part of water management. It has been created to catch the overflow of River de Waal. It's a gorgeous view with bridges, trains, joggers. When you follow the bridge, which is called the Landloper, you arrive on a tiny island where there's a beautiful statue called the Face of Nijmegen, het gezicht van Nijmegen. It was made based on a Roman mask that was found here in the vicinity by Andreas Hetveld in 2020. There are stairs behind it, you can climb up and look through the ice. Since it is so cold, let's get back to the car and go into the city. My friend knows Nijmegen very well and she took me around the beautiful streets and the sights to see. First stop, the Canisius Church. Canisius was a pilgrim and this church is dedicated to him. From there, we walked to the Waag. Nowadays, it's a restaurant. It's a very pretty building. This is a statue of Mariken van Nieumeghen. She was a character in a miracle play that was written in the 16th century. We went through the Kerkboog and ended up in front of the Latin school, Latijnse school, and the Stevenskerk, Stephen's Church. First, we walked around the church and then we went inside. We were lucky the chandeliers were getting cleaned. This person explained us how he does it.
Is dit je?
Is dat klaar?
Ja. Nee, maar je moet zo zorgvuldig zijn, omdat je mag die dingen niet door elkaar gooien.
Every wax sketcher has its own place, so he says he has to be very precise not to mix them up. Here he shows us how the hoisting and lowering of the chandeliers work. I was following the movement with the camera, so I hope you can see what is happening.
Kijk, en dan wordt ze heel mooi schoon.
Here you can see how clean they get. From this to this. It is a magnificent church and there are a lot of chandeliers to be cleaned. After a cup of coffee in the cafe of the church, and after taking in all the beautiful details, it was time to step back outside to explore the rest of this wonderful city. When we got back outside, it was about time for a snack. And nothing is better than some Dutch snacks. They are terribly unhealthy, but so good. Talking about snacks, these are Easter eggs in a candy shop. On our way back to the car, there was yet another church. There was a door open, we were curious, and so we just had to go inside. This church is dedicated to Titus Brandsma. There are things about him on the outside and on the inside of the church. And apparently a lot of people come to this church especially because of that. But we didn't know, so it was a total coincidence. In this beautiful church there is a stained glass window by Jan Toren, who was a famous artist in the Netherlands. After this visit it was time for a break, but before heading into the hotel for the night, there was one last thing to do. Visiting a garden center. Here are some samples of the beautiful flowers they were selling. This was the end of my stay in Nijmegen. It was time to go back to the hotel and to get ready for the next day of traveling. Nijmegen is truly an amazing city. The time has come to continue the trip. Next stop, Doetinchem. There was an overlay in between the train and the bus, so I had time to buy some flowers for the people I was visiting. We had a lovely lunch at Eetcafé Jansen. When it was over, I took another bus and then another train to end up in Hengelo. It was a rainy night, so I went to the hotel straight away. The next morning started out rainy as well, so I went to do some shopping. I was very lucky that I only got one morning of rain so far. This is where the market used to be. I really like what they've done with the place. I can just imagine how lovely it looks in the summer. When I was done shopping, I went to go get some coffee in a cozy cafe. At the moment they are remodeling the space behind the church. There used to be a tiny shopping mall here. By now it had stopped raining and you can see what they are doing here in detail. That afternoon, I met up with a friend. We walked around town and we had a great time. And then the evening started. First, I went to a cafe, and then I was invited to a bar where there was a piano karaoke. They have decided to do more. The link of the artist is in the description below. And these are two courageous singers in action. Then it was time to go back to the hotel and to get ready for the next day. This day was a beautiful sunny Saturday, a perfect day to walk around and to visit the market. Besides visiting the market, there was also a meetup with a friend. We talked about life and art and everything that links the both of them. In the afternoon there was another fun family meeting. It is really good to be back in a place that still feels so much like home. Even though I've been gone for a very long time, it felt very familiar to walk there, even if so much has changed. This is the city hall. Earlier, I showed you the cables and the bricks of the works behind the church. This is the front of that church. In the evening, I was invited to a concert in a place called the Cactus. It was the first performance of the group Next 4. The music was very good. When it became very crowded, I decided I wanted to leave, so we went to have a drink somewhere to close it out on a fun note. Then I went to the hotel to get ready for the last day. On this next day, it was time to go back home. Bye bye for now, Hengelo. It is time to move on to the next place, Rotterdam. It was another lovely family visit. We went to Donner, a place that is tied to our family history, with a good cup of coffee and of course some Dutch junk food. Lekker! We also had time for a small sightseeing tour. I didn't film a lot because we had a lot of talking to do. Soon it was time to go to the station and to catch my train. Because of a technical problem in Belgium, we all had to change trains twice, causing a delay of over 2 hours. It was a wonderful holiday and I am very happy to be able to share it with you. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.